Hello guys and welcome to That SRB2 Dude here today, bringing you yet another Splatoon 3 video. Now there's an incoming patch and it's coming really fast. For America it's coming out pretty much today, tonight basically, and the rest of the world tomorrow, basically past midnight. Now the reason for why I'm making this video is to let you guys know what is happening in this patch. Now this isn't a huge weapon balance update. To be honest, there's actually more bug fixes in this patch compared to that. But there are a couple things to still mention and how it might change the game. So I figured let's go through all of it and I'll mention basically all the very notable bug fixes that you may not have spotted when going over this patch. So here we are on the website, version 1.20 releases October 25th. So we're all getting this today unless you live in the UK line like me. This right here seems pretty dang important. Made improvements to data transfer between players. On average, data will be transferred about 0.05 seconds more quickly than before. That one's really interesting to me because I'm not too sure if that's like referring to the tick rate of this game. So data should transfer to players a little faster, which I would assume that would make things a lot less laggier, which is still a nice change. By no means I'm a tech expert when it comes to things like this, but I definitely think that's helpful. We'll just have to wait and see how that turns out when we actually go ahead and get to play it tomorrow. Okay, so changes specifically for the multiplayer. The Fizzy Bomb, there has been increased time for ink to start recovering after using a Fizzy Bomb by 0.25 seconds. Right, so I put an example on the screen here just so you guys understand. When you shake up a Fizzy Bomb and then you've thrown it, there's like a small period of time where you're actually not able to recover any ink. With this specific nerf, this makes it so that it takes a little longer for you to actually recover your ink by about 15 frames if I'm not mistaken. It's a quarter of a second, so it has to be about 15 frames. So straight up what I'm thinking is that people who are using the slushy machine right now, that's going to nerf the weapon a little bit because that means you're not going to be able to throw Fizzy Bombs as quickly as before. It's going to take a little longer for you to actually throw your next one, which is still pretty nice. I don't think it's going to hurt the slushy machine's performance too much, but being able to throw less fizzies, I mean, that's fine. I think that's pretty fair. Moving on to some special point changes. The Flingza Roller, Slushy Machine, and Reflux, their special points were all at 200 and now they're all going to 210. Meaning it's going to take a little longer for you to actually be able to charge up your specials in these cases. Two of them, of course, have Tenta Missiles, the Flingza Roller and Reflux. Do I think this is going to hurt these two weapons too much? Not really, because if you've seen how the Reflux paints, 10 ink is like 2 more extra shots. Maybe even just 1 extra shot, who knows? I don't think it's going to change much for the Flingza Roller either, since it's like 1 extra swing that you gotta do just to be able to get your special now. But the slushy machine, it might hurt it a little bit. Maybe it takes like 1 or 2 extra slushes now to actually get your special. But to be honest, for the slushy machine, I think it's pretty fair because its kit is amazing, having Fizzy Bomb and Booyah Bomb. For a weapon as strong as this, I definitely feel like it deserved the special nerf. Do I think it makes it unusable? Definitely not. I think it's still going to be used the same amount how it was before. The Flingza Roller and Reflux, they're still going to be used the same amount as they were before. I think these are pretty fair nerfs to them, but I can definitely see like maybe in another patch that Flingza and Reflux may even get even more nerfed in terms of Tenta Missiles and all that jazz. The Goot Tuber was left untouched, and that's a Tenta Missile weapon. Maybe people might actually like go towards using the Goot Tuber more. Because personally, I feel like the Goot Tuber is a pretty solid pick as a Tenta Missile weapon. It may not get it as fast as these two, but definitely we might even see more people picking up the Goot Tuber because of this. But yeah, that's pretty much all to do with the weapons and sub-weapons. There are actually more of them, but they're kind of considered as bug fixes, so let's take a look. Improved the efficiency of matchmaking for Anarchy Battle Open, Anarchy Battle Series, Splatfest Battle Open, and Tricolor Attack. Basically Tricolor Turf War. I don't know why they call it attack there, but sure. These changes mean that a pair of players joining an Anarchy Battle Open or Splatfest Battle Open can expect shorter wait times. So basically matchmaking's improved and there should be some shorter wait times. This update focuses on adjusting some weapons, improving several features, and bug fixes that relate to battles. We've implemented several adjustments to curtail to a certain extent the style of play where the player stays far removed from the action and continually uses sub-weapons or special weapons. This patch prioritizes bug fixes and other adjustments to weapons will continue in the next update. So basically this is saying that, of course, yeah, prioritizing bug fixes and other adjustments, basically the bigger update coming soon, which will basically be in the next update. Not gonna lie, I feel like this is specifically talking about people using the slushy machine where they're just doing nothing but spamming their Fizzy Bomb and then throwing their Booyah Bomb and just kind of continuing that kind of play. So it's going to basically make people who are using the slusher machine move a whole lot more, which I assume they'll basically fix completely in the next patch. The next update will focus on new features for the season beginning in December, weapon balance changes, and changes to Splatfest Tricolor Turf War mode. It is scheduled to be released at the end of the current season. So like the end of November, we can definitely expect a new patch coming in, and that's probably going to have a whole bunch of new weapon balance updates. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what they actually have to change. Let's go ahead and scroll through because there's still a lot of bug fixes that we have to check through. Fix an issue where the slushy machine spiral would deal damage when hitting an opponent on the other side of terrain, even though they were hidden by the terrain. Alright, yes, let's go! So the slushy machine can no longer hit through walls like before. If you guys haven't seen my We Broke Splatoon 3 video, yeah, that video basically shows absolutely everything you need to know about that. Good to know that's being finally patched. Fix an issue where the slushy machine spiral would deal damage when hitting an opponent inside an ink vacuum area despite the opponents being entirely inside the area. Crazy, I didn't know that either. So I guess the spiral from the slushy machine could basically hit through someone's ink vacuum. The more you know. Fix an issue where burst ones would disappear without activating when hitting certain terrain. Fix an issue where point sensors or toxic mist would disappear without activating when hitting certain terrain or an ultra stamp. Fix an issue where the splash pool would immediately disappear if placed in a certain location. Right, yes. If you guys didn't see my YouTube short the other day, yeah, I think they finally fixed that. I've noticed these things a whole lot when playing Splatoon 3, where like some of my sub weapons would just literally disappear. No idea why. I've had a moment where my ultra stamp disappeared at some point too. So yeah, that's good, that's fixed, finally, thanks. It was such a weird bug, but yeah, I mean, I'm glad they're aware of things like this. So fixed an issue on some stations where the Booyah Bomb Blast would not ink the ground correctly, so better inking. Fixed an issue where the ultra stamp would not block enemy bomb waves. Fixed an issue where the ultra stamp would not block fully charged shots from a charger. I've definitely noticed this because I've shot so many ultra stamps when they're fully just and it always felt like that I could snipe them all the time. So this is definitely a good fix for the ultra stamp. Fix an issue with the ultra stamps repeatedly stamping attack where there would be moments in which direct attacks could not deal damage to the opponent. There we go, yes. Fix an issue that would prevent the ultra stamp's repeated stamping attack from properly inking the ground. Wait, fixed an issue that allowed the ultra stamp's repeatedly stamping attack to deal damage to enemies on the other side of thin walls. Interesting, I didn't know that. Fixed an issue that allowed the ultra stamp's mid-air spinning attack to deal damage to enemies on the other side of thin walls. So I guess the ultra stamp also had the slusher machine thing. I didn't know that. Fixed an issue where hitting terrain at the instance the ultra stamp is thrown would cause an explosion in a different location than where it's hit. Huh? Fixed an issue where the ultra stamp's throw would, when aimed at an opponent on iron grating, would deal direct damage even if hitting from the backside. Alright, so reading through all these ultra stamp fixes, well, basically they fixed ultra stamps from hitting on the other side of walls, but I think this is 100% the big one, where there will be moments where direct attacks could not deal damage to an opponent. So fingers crossed that they finally fixed the ultra stamp, and where the Splushamatic and Sultana can finally be used where it actually has an actual special. Please, come on, because there have been so many moments where like I just feel like my ultra stamp just does not do anything. So I'm glad that's in the patch. I'm also really glad this is in the patch because I mean I've used a lot of charges and I feel so bad for some ultra stamps because I'm always able to snipe them directly, even if they're stamping like crazy. It felt really consistent. It didn't even feel like the ultra stamp was there most of the time. It was weird, but it seems like they may have fixed the ultra stamp. And after this, I think there are just a bunch of mode and map specific bugs that were in the game. There's a whole list of them. There are a couple of salmon run changes as well, whole list of them, and some story mode ones. So to be very, very honest, I think we've got through all the very, very important stuff. I'll leave a link in the description so you guys can go ahead and check all the notes if you'd like to have a read for yourself. But for this video, I think I've gotten pretty much through everything you'd want to know straight away, all the important stuff. So what we get from that is some Tenta missile weapons have been changed a little bit in terms of how long it takes for them to get their special. The Tenta missiles themselves has not been changed, which I feel like that might be something that happens in the next patch, basically around the end of November. Slusher machine's been nerfed a little bit in terms, exactly with the weapon itself, besides of course being able to slash through walls. But by the fizzy bomb and the, I guess, getting it special as well has been nerfed a little bit. So the weapon's still going to be just as good as ever. I think people are still going to be using it like they have before. But they have done a couple of changes that definitely makes it not as stupid as it used to be. And Ultra Stem, of course, maybe finally being fixed. Fingers crossed. I'd love to be able to use a Sploosh, because I think the Sploosh-O-Matic with the Curling Bomb and Ultra Stem would be a really good weapon if the Ultra Stem worked as intended. So hopefully we get to see the Sploosh used just a little bit more often, considering the Ultra Stem is maybe fixed. And yeah, hopefully there's less lag in the game, because from the very first note again, data transfer is a little bit faster, so that could be referring to the tick rate, that it being improved a little bit. I'm not too sure. I'm not an expert on that, like I said before. So yeah, we just have to wait and see. This patch is happening today for America and tomorrow for everywhere else in the world. So yeah, guys, let me know your thoughts of what you think of this patch, and what do you think they might do in terms of weapon balances for the next patch coming in. Let me know in the comment section below. But if you did enjoy this video, make sure to go ahead and like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and follow me on Twitter and Twitch. They are both in the description below. Do it for both of you feeling generous. And also, what are you guys waiting for? Join the Discord. Join the friggin' Discord. It's the best place to go ahead and play with other people that also play Splatoon 3. And also, of course, if you're trying to get notified whenever I go live for a stream, best place to be notified and keep up to date with all the Splatoon 3 news and all that. So let me know your thoughts, guys, comment section. And you know, that's all I gotta say for this video. Thank you very much, guys, for watching, and I shall see you guys in a future one.